In this video, I'll be talking about theorems of moment of inertia, moment of inertia. So we have two theorems. First is parallel axis theorem. While I'm talking about these theorems, let me first of all tell you these theorems are valid for bodies, continuous bodies, not for the particles. So suppose that I have a body, let us say this is a body, any shaped. Let us take this is the center of mass of this body. Okay, this is the center of mass of this body. So basically I can say this axis will have ICM, moment of inertia of the body about its center of mass. Suppose that there is a point which is at d distance, let's say point P, and if I draw a perpendicular axis like this, then if I want to calculate the moment of inertia about axis y dash, so y dash can be provided as ICM plus MD square. So this is the parallel axis theorem, which is I parallel is equal to ICM plus MD square. So let us explain what are the values. So I parallel or Iyy dash, moment of inertia about an axis passing through point P and perpendicular to the plane of the body. Okay, and what is D? So D is the parallel distance between point P and center of mass. Okay, and of course ICM is the moment of inertia about an axis passing through center of mass of the body and perpendicular to the plane. So now I have explained you this theorem. Now let us have the application part. Okay, so how to apply in our questions. So I'll take two examples. Let's say first example I am taking this is for disk. Let's say I have a disk which is of mass m and radius is r. Let's say the center of mass is at point O. I wanted to calculate the moment of inertia about point P passing through an axis passing through point P and perpendicular to the plane, let's say z dash. So I z dash is what? So here, as we know, axis which is passing through the center of mass and perpendicular to the plane, ICM. So ICM, moment of inertia of a disk passing through the center of mass, radius r, will be mr square by 2. This is the standard result we have seen, right? So if we know this result, then we can apply apply parallel axis theorem. So if you apply parallel axis theorem, you can write I parallel will be is equal to I cm plus md square. So obviously this is the distance, perpendicular distance, which is equal to r itself. So here d is equal to r, ICM is equal to mr square by 2. Okay, so I parallel is nothing else our desired results IZZ dash, which is simply ICM plus m into r square. If you substitute the values, mr square by 2 plus mr square, so this is 3 by 2 mr square. Pretty simple and easy by using the parallel axis theorem. Right, now I would give you another example by which you will be fully clear how to apply. So this time I am taking example of, let's say, sphere. So it can be applicable for any body, like 2D bodies also and 3D bodies also. So suppose that there is a sphere and I wanted to know moment of inertia about an axis passing through point P. Okay, passing through point P. So this is nothing else solid sphere. Solid sphere. Now I wanted to calculate, let's say this is z, z dash. So I p z z dash, right? How to calculate it? Let's say this point is certainly r by 2 distance, while sphere is having radius r itself, correct? Now for a solid sphere, we know that ICM will be 2 by 5 mr square. This is for solid sphere, we know that. An interesting point is that in a solid sphere, from anywhere you take, it will be ICM, like from any axis, because it's a 3D situation, so that doesn't make any change. So this will be ICM. This will also be ICM only. So ICM will be 2 by 5 mr square. So we got the value of ICM. Once we achieve the value of ICM, then we can say now I parallel is equal to ICM plus MD square, right? Here D is simply is equal to R by 2 as per the question. So I parallel means I P Z Z dash is equal to 2 by 5 mr square plus m into r by 2 whole square. So that is going to be 2 by 5 mr square is mr square by 4. We can take LCM. This is 28 mr square plus 5 mr square. So finally this value will be 13 by 20 mr square, right? So that's how we calculate moment of inertia using parallel axis theorem. Now there is another theorem which I told you earlier, that there are two theorems. So another one is perpendicular axis theorem, which is simultaneously equally important. Perpendicular axis theorem. So now again, let us have a body, and this body is a planar body in xy plane. Okay, then suppose that this is there is a point, let's say any random point P. So let's say this is IZ, this is x-axis, so you can say IX, and then let's say this is Y, because y-axis generally we take, and this is perpendicular axis IZ, right? So first of all define the axis. IX is moment of inertia of the body about x axis. Similarly, Iy is moment of inertia about y axis, and simultaneously z is going to be the moment of inertia about z axis. Basically this is perpendicular to the plane xy, right? Then according to perpendicular axis theorem, we can write Iz is equal to Ix plus Iy. This is the perpendicular axis theorem. Now there is a small note I am adding. This is only applicable, only valid for 2D objects or 1D objects. Not valid for 3D objects like sphere, because spheres have symmetry along any axis. For them Ix, Iy and Iz all are same because it's a symmetrical situation in 3D, but only in 2D it is valid for 2D objects or 1D objects. So now let us see the application part, right? As we have seen in parallel axis theorem. So let's take, there is an example similar to that disk which we have taken earlier. So suppose there is a disk which has radius r and mass of this disk is m. We had calculated the moment of inertia about the point P, right, for the disk. So where I am saying this P is in the z plane, that means that axis can be represented zz dash. So I want to calculate IP zz dash, where zz dash is the perpendicular axis to the plane of the disk, right? So how to solve this question? So first of all if you see this disk, you can see there are two axes, 1 and 2, like this. This will be Iy and this is Ix, okay, and this is going to be Iz simply. So x, y and z are mutually perpendicular to each other, we know that. So we can apply perpendicular axis theorem. Iz is equal to Ix plus Iy, perpendicular axis theorem. But here this is a disk, so Ix and Iy will be the similar values because it's a symmetrical situation in 2D. Symmetry in 2D, right? That means I can say Ix, instead of Iy I can write Ix, this is Iz. So Ix is nothing else Iz by 2, and the value of Iz for this disk will be is equal to ICM passing through the perpendicular axis, which is nothing else mr square by 2 for a disk. So the value of Ix is mr square by 2 into 1 upon 2, which is mr square by 4. Perfect. So we achieved the value of Iz. Now we want to calculate about an axis passing through the point P, which is perpendicular to the plane. So now let's come back to this point, okay? So if you want to achieve that, so at point P At point P you can see this is going to be the Ix and this is going to be the IZ dash, right? So say this is IYY dash. Okay, so let us draw the diagram. So this is YY dash, and you can see this x is perpendicular to YY dash. So then we will achieve ZZ dash into the another plane which is perpendicular to both of these. So these two are perpendicular. We can apply perpendicular axis theorem. So we know that Ix plus Iyy dash both are perpendicular. That would lead to be Izz dash, right? Now once we achieved this, important point is that how to obtain Yy dash, because we already have obtained the value of Ix, which is fine. So if you see this axis, which one, Iy and Iyy dash are parallel. Yy dash parallel to y. So we can use parallel axis theorem here in order to find the value of Iyy dash is equal to Iy plus md square. So d is of course is equal to r. So Iy is nothing else, we calculated, equal to Ix, which is mr square by 4 plus m into r square. So this is 5 by 4 mr square. And once I achieved the value of Iyy dash, then we can substitute the value in our equation. So Ix is mr square by 4 plus 5 by 4 mr square. So this is finally how much? 4, 6 mr square by 4, 3 by 2. So 3 by 2 mr square we are achieving. So interestingly, you are seeing that we are achieving the same answer which we had earlier calculated with the help of parallel axis theorem only. So this is a little bit tricky one in terms of application for the same question, but yes, sometime it is really helpful. So that's why I explained you this particular thing. And the second example I have taken there for a sphere, right? So let us take for that sphere. So for that sphere, let's take the same sphere of radius r, mass m, and this is a solid sphere. And suppose that this is the point center of mass, and I wanted to calculate the moment of inertia about an axis passing through this point. Let's say this. So this is Ix and this is Iy, and of course this can be assumed Iz. So here if you apply, if you see, then Ix and Iy and Iz all will be equal, and which are only 2 by 3 2 by 5 mr square for a solid sphere, right? Because all are ICM, correct? So why here, even if x, y and z are perpendicular axis theorem is not valid? Because this is a 3D object or body having 3D symmetry. Okay, that's why it is not applicable. So remember, I already told you, not valid for any 3D bodies. So in parallel axis theorem there is no problem, you can apply, but in perpendicular axis theorem you can't apply. Okay, so you need to remember this thing. I believe these theorems of moment of inertia are pretty clear. You can easily use, pretty helpful in many questions. In order to save your time and energy, you don't have to do integration. The best part of these theorems are, okay, and also they are applicable for non-uniform mass. They are applicable for non-uniform mass distribution, though we need to figure out the center of mass of non-uniform body. Okay, so if you can find out, then easily you can apply it for non-uniform bodies also. Okay, so that is a plus point of utilizing these theorems. Okay, yeah.